Uh, is there some kind of backstory about playing all three schools? So I love that as a college football fan, playing the three Florida schools. But my goodness, and not to defend or make an excuse for Florida football, but having always have to play Florida State. So let's understand that we got four teams that in the former SEC Eastern Division that have rivals in the ACC. Well, Florida's got the one that is the most consistently an elite program that they have to face each and every year. So they're going to catch back flack if they don't schedule somebody else. If they schedule three cream puffs and just rely on Florida State as being the game non-conference, people are going to criticize, oh, you're not scheduling anyone else. But how many teams go out there and schedule somebody else? And here we've got two others in Miami and UCF, and all in state. Is there any kind of backstory to scheduling kind of the state championship approach this year?
I don't think so, Mark. I think it was just Scott Strickland, for whatever reason, putting all these games in 1 year for Florida. Now, granted, a lot of these were settled before the SEC expanded, before Texas and Oklahoma came in, and the SEC scheduling got blown up. A lot of those were already in place there. But, Mark, I was just noticing when you had that schedule up, I don't know where FBS Schedules gets their rankings. They had some rankings beside those schools. But if I'm not mistaken, I saw the last 7 opponents there for Florida all had a number beside them. Now, I don't know if that was last year's rankings and it being based off of that, but no, it can't be because Georgia's number 1 there. But there's a 16 besides Tennessee. There's a 23 beside Kentucky, a 1 beside Georgia, a 4 beside Texas, 12 LSU, 6 Ole Miss, 15 Florida State. I'm assuming those are rankings from somewhere.
From somewhere, maybe an ESPN FPI or something.
But there you go. That just shows you how tough Florida's schedule is. I mean, their final 7 opponents, according to this ranking here, are all ranked. And the last 5 are all in the top 15. So,
and I'm going to clarify before I get a comment either in the chat or later to the comment section when somebody says, well, South Carolina's got to play Clemson every year. I understand Clemson's been better than Florida State for the most part in the last 10 years, but I'm just speaking historically. There's no comparison between those other schools that have to be played and Florida State every year for Florida. So,
hey, Mark, we've heard that too. You know, Florida playing Miami this year. And we've heard, well, why doesn't Florida play Miami every year? What school do you know in the SEC goes out and schedules 2 Power 5 permanent opponents? Now, playing Miami every now and then, sure, do it. But nobody goes out there and schedules 2 permanent Power 4 opponents. Nobody does it. So while Florida gets flack for not playing Miami every year and Florida State every year, I'll never get it when the schedule's already been tough enough anyway.
Nobody in the SEC does it. The only team I can think of is USC's got Notre Dame every year. Then they go out and grab somebody else, but they don't play in the SEC. Yeah.
And they don't want to play an SEC team this year according to reports.
Yes. They apparently wanted to get out of that one for sure. David Waters, Gators Breakdown. Man, it's always a good time and appreciate David stopping by, breaking things down on the Florida football front. And maybe Billy Napier's swan song, or maybe a resurgence in Gainesville that people aren't expecting. It should be intriguing one way or the other. And again, Gators Breakdown, it's right here on YouTube and your favorite audio platform. David, this was apropos you kicking us off for our SEC run here this summer, so we so much appreciate you stopping by, sir.
All right, Mark, let's do it again.